morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Akal. The top stories first. Hindus mark the fifth day of Tihar festival today. This day is dedicated to the bond between brothers and sisters. Coronavirus cases climb to 209,000 in Nepal. Active cases dropped to 35,000. Road accidents claim more lives than coronavirus in Nepal. Government authorities accused of paying little attention towards minimizing accidents. Trump briefly admits election defeat. The outgoing president clings to legal remedy without success. And Lewis Hamilton equals Schumacher's 7 Formula One world titles, wins the 2020 season with 3 races remaining. And now the news in detail. Today is the 5th and the final day of Tihar festival. On this day, sisters put tika or a mark on the forehead of their brothers with 7 different colors. Sisters pray for longevity and prosperity of their brothers on this auspicious day. There is a tradition of giving priority to younger brothers while following the ritual of putting the color mark or tika, from which this day derives its name, Bhai Tika. Before the ritual, the siblings first worship the 8 immortal beings, including Markandeya, Bali, Parshuram, Vyas, Hanuman, Vibhishan, Kripacharya and Aswasthama as per the tradition. Yamaraj, the god of death, and his sister Yamuna are also worshipped to mark the bond between brothers and sisters. Legend has it that Yamuna started this tradition by putting tika on the forehead of Yamaraj, which is commemorated till this day. Sisters also pray for long life of their brothers with Yamaraj. Globe Amarnath, a flower whose color does not fade, holds a special significance during this festival. Other flowers extensively used during this day is the Godavari and the marigold. Those who do not have siblings celebrate this festival with their close relatives. It is believed that the foreheads should not remain blank on this day. People who do not have siblings visit the Yamaleshwar Mahadev temple at Rani Pokhari in the heart of Kathmandu on this day. This temple is opened only once a year on the day of Bhai Tika. After the ritual is over, brothers and sisters celebrate by feasting. There is also a tradition of playing swing on this day. It is believed that one must leave the ground once a year. After all this is over, families light lamps in the evening as the 5-day festival comes to a close. The government has confirmed 1,477 new cases of coronavirus across the country during the latest round of tests. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the total caseload of coronavirus in the country has now climbed to 209,776, while the number of active cases is 35,125. The ministry informed yesterday that 807 new cases were reported in the Kathmandu Valley alone. Meanwhile, the death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 1,221 across the country, with the confirmation of 6 more fatalities yesterday. So far, 173,430 patients infected by coronavirus have recovered from the disease in Nepal. Nepal is currently among the top 35 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. Coronavirus has claimed the lives of 8 more Nepalis living in India. According to the Non-Residential Nepalese Association, the victims were of Nepali nationals working in Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. NRNA informed that the number of Nepalese who have died due to coronavirus outside Nepal has climbed to 293. Altogether, 45,439 Nepalese have been infected in 44 countries across the world so far. Among them, 41,439 have already recovered from the disease, according to the NRNA. NRNA data shows that almost 91% of Nepalese infected abroad have recovered from the coronavirus. Coordinator of NRNA's Health Committee, Dr. Sanjeev Shapkota, informed that new infections among Nepalese have been reported in the UK, Spain, Austria, Germany, India, UAE, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. The Health Committee has urged the Nepali diaspora to be careful during the festive gatherings. Road accidents have claimed around 1,400 lives in Nepal, despite low number of vehicles plying the roads after the government imposed lockdown in Nepal nearly 8 months ago. During the same period, coronavirus has claimed 1,200 lives. Although road accidents have claimed more lives than coronavirus, the concerned authorities seem to have paid very little attention towards minimizing accidents. The government has banned vehicles from operating freely on the roads by imposing the odd-even rule, even though the number of accidents is quite high. Accidents have become a routine of our daily lives and the authorities are very little concerned about it. The public is yet to feel assured that the government is serious about tackling this problem. A program was organized yesterday worldwide in remembrance of the victims of road accidents. In Nepal, the program was limited to social networking this year because of the coronavirus pandemic. Every year, the government forms Prov Committee to study the impact of road accidents. Stakeholders say that the situation in Nepal is yet to improve because the government hardly implements the recommendations given by such committees. The District Administration Office Lumjung has home-delivered the citizenship certificate to 2 persons with disabilities in the same family in the Sundar Bazar municipality. Citizenship has been distributed to Kumar Adhikari 27 and Kamal Adhikari 25, 2 sons of Krishna Bahadur Adhikari of Sundar Bazar 2, Parewa Dana. Chief District Officer of Lumjung, Krishna Prasad Sharma, himself handed over the citizenship certificate to the Adhikari brothers at their own homes.
सदरमुकामसम्म पुगेर चाहिँ नागरिकता लिनको लागि असहज भएको नागरिकहरूको लागि व्यक्तिहरूको लागि हामी घरमै पुगेर नागरिकता दिने खालको अभियान चलाउन पनि थालेका छौं। यहाँ आज पनि थाहा भयो हामीलाई र त्यहाँको जानकारी प्राप्त भएपछि बुवा जानुभएको थियो, व्यक्तिहरूको चाहिँ नागरिकहरू बुवा जानुभएको थियो, उहाँलाई हामीले घरमै आएर दिन्छ भनेर डकुमेन्ट उहाँ कलेक्सन गरेर हामी घरमै आएर दिएका र लमजुङ जिल्लाभित्र सबै पालिकासँग हामीले विवरण सङ्कलन गरेर यस्तो खालको चाहिँ जुन अशक्तताको कारणले गर्दा नागरिकताबाट वञ्चित हुनु परेको अवस्था छ उहाँ त्यस्तो अन्त्य गर्नको लागि हामीले चाहिँ घरघरमै पुगेर चाहिँ नागरिकता दिने गरी विवरण सङ्कलन गर्दैछौँ र
A team, including the Chief District Officer, reached the house of 2 brothers after the local representatives informed the CDO that they could not come to the district headquarters due to their physical difficulties. Kumar was born on 26 July 1994 and Kamal was born on 28 September 1996. And now the news from the economic front. Although the price of gold and silver has not been fixed in Nepal due to the Tihar holidays, the price of gold has gone up in the international market. The price of gold has risen by more than $10 per ounce. Earlier, gold was being traded at an average of $1,878 per ounce, but on Sunday it was traded at $1,889. The price of gold had dropped by Rs 3,400 per tola in the Nepali market on October 9 after the news about the discovery of the coronavirus vaccine in the international market broke. Since then, the price of gold has been rising steadily. Analysts predict that the price of gold will fall further if a vaccine for the coronavirus is discovered and approved by the World Health Organization. Welcome back, and now the international news. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday briefly acknowledged losing the U.S. election in a morning Twitter post, but then backtracked, saying he concedes nothing. According to Reuters, Trump vowed to keep up a court fight that election law experts say is unlikely to succeed. The news agency reported that President-elect Joe Biden focused on the coronavirus pandemic, setting meetings with vaccine developers as the crisis intensifies. The number of U.S. coronavirus cases passed 11 million on Sunday. It was a million more than It was 1 million more new cases than a week ago and the fastest increase since the pandemic began. Biden defeated Trump in the November 3rd election by the same 306 to 232 margin in the state-by-state electoral college that Trump proclaimed a landslide when he won it in 2016. The Democratic former vice president also won the national popular vote by at least 5.5 million votes, with some ballots still being counted. Trump's campaign has filed lawsuits seeking to overturn the results in multiple states without success. Legal experts have said that Trump's litigation stands little chance of altering the election's outcome, and election officials of both parties have said there is no evidence of major irregularities. The head of the World Food Programme says the Nobel Peace Prize has given the UN agency a spotlight and a megaphone to warn world leaders that next year is going to be worse than this. According to the AFP chief, the world is going to face famines of biblical proportions in 2021 without funding of billions of dollars. David Beasley said in an interview with the Associated Press that the Norwegian Nobel Committee was looking at the work the agency does every day in conflicts, disasters, and refugee camps. According to him, the committee has urged WFP to send a message to the world that it's getting worse out there. Beasley recalled his warning to the UN Security Council in April that as the world was dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, it was also on the brink of a hunger pandemic that could lead to multiple famines of biblical proportions within a few months if immediate action was not taken. We were able to avert it in 2020 because the world leaders responded with money, stimulus packages, deferral of debt, he said. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Lewis Hamilton clinched a 7th World Championship and became the most successful racing driver ever with the victory in the Turkish Grand Prix. The Mercedes driver equaled Michael Schumacher's achievement in terms of titles after already surpassing the German's number of race wins last month with his 93rd win. Victory at a treacherously wet and slippery Istanbul Park track in a topsy-turvy race was the 94th of the 35-year-old Britain's career. Hamilton, who does not yet have a contract for next year, added he would love to stay in F1 and wanted to continue to campaign for change when it comes to human rights, diversity, and environmentalism. The Englishman won his first world title with McLaren in 2008 with further success in 2014, 15, 17, 18, 19 and now in 2020. Hamilton has clinched the title with 3 races still to go, with Bahrain starting in 2 weeks' time and then a finale in Abu Dhabi in mid-December. England's hopes of qualifying for the Nations League finals were ended by defeat against Belgium in Leuven. Yuri Tillemans scored for Belgium in the 10th minute, followed by a special free kick from Dries Mertens in the 23rd minute. Defeat means England will not reach the finals after finishing 3rd in 2019 when the inaugural showpiece was held in Portugal. In other match in the same group, Denmark defeated Iceland by 2-1 with both goals scored by former Spurs player Christian Eriksen. In other matches, Liverpool's Dutch midfielder Gini Wijnaldum scored twice to give Netherlands a 3-1 win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. Italy also got a much-needed win over Poland, with goals being scored by Jorginho and Domenico Berardi. They won the match 2-0. The final round of matches will be played all throughout the weekend to complete the group fixtures. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Hindus mark the 5th day of Tihar festival today. The day is dedicated to the bond between brothers and sisters. Coronavirus cases climbed to 209,000 in Nepal. Active cases dropped to 35,000. Road accidents claim more lives than coronavirus in Nepal. Government authorities accused of paying little attention towards minimizing accidents. Trump briefly admits election defeat. The outgoing president clings to legal remedy without success. And Lewis Hamilton equals Schumacher's 7 Formula One world titles, wins the 2020 season with 3 races remaining. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.